Can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Dinko Zakovic. I'm a film director from ex-Yugoslavia, now in Serbia. And I'm working beside being film director as a programming director of the Yugoslav Film Archives, Jugoslovenski Kinoteka in Belgrade, which is considered to be one of the 5 biggest film archives in the world. So, because I love the history of the cinema, it's additional great honor and pleasure for me to work.
Don't know if you live directly the war, but can you tell us anyway your own experience about this topic, also from your professional point of view?
Unfortunately, in that moment it was not unfortunate, it was fortunate. I was born in Bosnia, and I was in the high school in Sarajevo, and then I left for Belgrade, not because of reason of war. In that time was normal to travel all around ex-Yugoslavia in search for the good schools, and the best film school was in Belgrade. But my family left in Sarajevo, so because of war activities, first my sister died, then my mother, and just a few years after my father. So I directly suffered that situation. Not only that, but entire class of my school is all around the world, and just by chance this year, 20 years after graduation, we met in Sarajevo, and several of my friends, classmates, has also died in the war. So yes, I'm attracted by the war, but also I see the cinema as a powerful tool to speak against the war, to kind of show that war, as one song said, war is stupid, at least, and also to create a possibility of dialogue between different nations. In this cinema, we always trying to give kind of multicultural and multiracial dialogue, and it's not strange to have 1 week of, for example, Israeli cinema, and then after 10 days the week of Iranian or Palestinian cinema. So we try to do the cultural dialogue between the countries who are actually in the war.
In my opinion, today is not so predictable, obvious to choose the way of peace and non-violence. So why did you choose this way?
Well, it's very simple. First, being in war, one realized that everything is better than war. And let's not start new war. But the problem is because the whole history of the Balkans, and also the whole history not only of ex-Yugoslavia, but the rest of the Balkans is history of the wars. So 20th century was the century of different wars. Also, in some way, it was a century of cinema. So cinema captured a lot of war activities, and it's very important to shoot the war and to screen it for the next generation, because there is a problem that people easily forgotten what happened in the war. If there is no reminder by the cinema or action like this, people, in the search for luck, they easily forgot what was in the war.
How are these today develop and spread the message of peace and non-violence, also using cinema, I mean, and also between young people?
One of the good aspects of globalization, and there are very few ones, the globalization is not such a great thing, is that its language of cinema is universal, and you have a more powerful tool than cinema today, it's internet. So everything is available, and for the young people, it's a chance to communicate throughout the world between themselves, and I see it as a great potential. But on the other hand, you mentioned the cinema. Only now on the film festivals you can see real artistic movies. Practically they are disconnected from the chains of cinema, so people when they are going to see the films, mostly they see commercial cinema, and they have no chance to see something which is important for any kind artistic or political statement. So if there's no festivals, if there is no manifestation like this, I'm afraid that there will be nothing shown except the major cinema. I mean, let's say, but I want to mention the Hollywood movies before all.
Can you tell us something about the project of the Cinematheque?
First, when there was a year ago the press conference here in Belgrade, we decided to screen one film. Then we decided to have two films, and then we have decided to have one day. Now we have 5-6 days of per 3 cinemas per day, which means to see and to present the variety of the genres, because when you speak about peace, it's not only the non-war films. There are several aspects of everything. So we try to have also the film from different parallels as your march is going. The films from the West and from the East, from Soviet Union, ex-Soviet Union, to United States. The films from the Slovenia, Croatia, Serbia, Italy as well. So to see how those themes appears in the different cultures and different, let's say, other circumstances like different religions, opinions, etc., philosophy, if you wish.
So we can say that today the Serbian cinema and movies is at last free?
Well, in this moment, Serbian cinema suffers global economical crisis, and it's a problem for the younger generation to make their films. On the other hand, they are very creative, and they try to make films in impossible circumstances, which means they use very cheap technique, which is now possible, and shoot films that they can, not the best one, but those one they can. So actually, Serbian cinema, which was very powerful through around the world, in this moment have 8 to 12 films per year, which is still the most in the region. And you know some of the authors like Emir Kusturica or Goran Paskaljevic, who just made Albanian, Italian, Serbian co-productions. They succeed to go beyond the frontiers of Serbia and to get international recognition. And the good thing is there is a lot of young filmmakers from Bosnia, Croatia, Slovenia, which are cooperating, and they invest money in Serbian films and vice versa. So I think that's a very good start for build the bridges between the countries who were just a few years ago in the war.
Do you have some kind of support from the government?
Our cinema is a governmental institution, so we have a yearly budget, and also we have some other budgeting ideas. We are strongly supported, I'm very proud to say, by European Union. We got big donation from the France and from the European Agency of Reconstruction, all in all more than 3 million euros for our archive, because they recognize the potential of our collection, which is more than 100,000 of titles, and it's one of the richest collections in the world. So we got the money for the Center for Digitalization, and we try to digitize those materials and put it in internet to make it available to people all around the world.
Can you send greetings to all the war marchers and all the people who decide to join this project? Well,
I think you are doing a great thing. I am very grateful to you that you come to Belgrade, and only what we can do here is to welcome you, embrace you, and wish you the very best in what you are trying. And please don't stop this year, continue next year as well. Greetings from Belgrade.